And we are live. What is going on, everybody? This is episode number 43 of Team Red Talks Nintendo, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, and then we also have a guest tonight. So, oh freak, no. Sorry. I had this going on in the background, and it was making an echo. My bad. Sorry for freaking out. That is a great way to start a podcast. The remix. So
people out here making Switch Gang diss videos.
Oh snap! I'm not gonna lie, that Switch Gang diss video was hilarious, bro.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to check that.
Freak kiss move. Yeah, Kofi's the GOAT so far as like diss tracks and stuff. You can't beat Kofi. Kofi's the GOAT. Trey's was alright. I don't like the fact that he was dissing my girl, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know what she has to do with anything. But...
Cause she be trolling him low key. She do. But shout outs to Kids Move. That was a dope little Switch Gang diss. I think he was trying to get at Kofi. So I'm waiting for Kofi's response.
Most of it was okay, but that pedophile stuff was out of line.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop it with the pedophile stuff. It's just
fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
Like, not cool.
It's just video games. Y'all gotta stop with this pedophile stuff.
What the hell?
But for the most part, I thought it was pretty funny. There was a couple of people that were kind of taking it a little serious, and I'm just like, bro, it's not that serious. It's a joke. Calm down. But anyway, let's go ahead and introduce my co-host and our guest. So let's go ahead and start with Kuuppon. We usually don't start with you first. Kuuppon, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, where they can find you, and what you've been gaming on.
Oh my god, the struggle is real. I'm tired as hell, fam, but that's okay. I'm gonna get through this. We gonna do this.
Yes.
So yeah, struggling like crazy today. Hopefully we should be having some streams coming later on down the road. Hopefully tomorrow if everybody's servers go online. But you know, play some Splatoon and all that good stuff. But thanks for having me today, and hopefully we have an interesting little show. Got some things to talk about. Let's see what's up.
Yes, what's up? So let's go ahead and let Alex introduce himself. Let him know where you can find him and what he's been gaming on.
What is going on, people? Active Sid here, and we're back for another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo. Got a lot of good topics to talk about, and we're gonna let you in a little secret, Xbox fanboys, why the Switch is selling. You will find out tonight. So let's go.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, so we're going to introduce our guest for the night. Shout outs to my homie Keith Norris. And if you guys listen to Level Heads Live and Level podcast, he is a very notable voice, makes very good points. So we decided to have him on the podcast tonight and come and chop it up with us. This is actually the first time he's been on the podcast. So Keith, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, let them know what you've been gaming on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here. Very, very appreciative of the invite. And I have still only been gaming on Splatoon. Didn't get a chance to play in the Splatfest, but we're going to get into that. But yeah, I only been gaming on Splatoon right now.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, as far as me, you guys know, it's your girl, Nia, TheVideoGamHer. You guys can find me on YouTube, TheVideoGamHer, Twitter, TheVideoGamHer, Twitch, Nia Loves Ninty, and I have also been playing a whole lot of Splatoon, and a lot of that is because of Salmon Run. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Salmon Run is so lit. I don't really play Turf War like that anymore, and the only reason why I will go out and play Turf War is because like Salmon Run is on a schedule, so it's not always open. So you know, but Salmon Run is lit, y'all. Like
Yeah,
it is so
it is good.
lit. I freaking love it.
I think it's more fun than the turf mode.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun than turf war. But let's go ahead and dip into these topics. So we got a couple of things for you guys tonight. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today is the Splatfest results. So if you guys have been living under a rock, the Splatfest was this weekend, and it was Team Mayo versus Team Ketchup, and Team Mayo won. Team Mayo won. I'm a little salty, low key about that because I was Team Ketchup. And you know what? I'm not even like a big ketchup person like that. I just really hate mayo.
You ketchup clowns. 80% of you clowns chose ketchup, but we still beat you.
Oh shoot! I hate mayo so much. It's
So from my understanding, apparently a lot of the ketchup people were fighting each other, so we never really got a chance to fight against you guys. But it's cool, you know.
We
It's
still
whatever.
won.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Exactly.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It's like cool, you guys won.
Yeah, and you know
That's
it's
right.
funny.
Still nasty.
It's
Still
funny.
nasty shit.
It is nasty, exactly. And you know it's funny. Like apparently, like there were like a lot of pro players who were choosing like the less popular side to see if they could like best basically everybody else, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
It was definitely rigged. Okay.
Wow. Wow, you guys sure come up with a lot of excuses.
I haven't played, so I don't care. I didn't lose. I didn't even pick a side. I wasn't playing, so it don't matter. But
I'm
nasty
salty.
mayo.
I ain't afraid to admit it.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was rigged. From what I heard, that when the mayo versus ketchup played, that's when they counted. But when it was ketchup versus ketchup, it didn't count.
Yeah,
That's what I
ketchup
heard.
versus ketchup doesn't count. Like when you play
it
against your
cancels
own
each other out.
teammates, it doesn't count.
Which means.
So
that
why
the
were they
mayo-
having so many ketchup versus ketchup then? Like, don't they set that up so that you can play against them?
Well, they can't just not let those extra ketchup
Well, I
bottles
know.
not play. Like, they have to play against somebody. It was the same thing the last time with ice cream and cake.
Yeah, it happened.
I don't know.
last time, too.
I don't know. It just seems weird, but it's whatever. You know, I guess they'll figure it out. It's whatever.
Well, they got to
Don't take it so seriously, everyone.
Everyone, like, they keep picking teams that are super one-sided.
That
You
is
know
true.
what? That is true though, because freaking
They got to do stuff like Lamborghini and Ferrari, something that
something
people will
that's
actually
really
be
down
divided
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't know, some of these Splatfest they have the weirdest little topics, and you're just
But,
like, really?
like, we already know what the very last Splatfest of Splatoon 2 is going to be. It's going to be Pearl versus Marina.
Oh my
Right.
god, they better not.
We
do
know
that.
this.
And so it's gonna be
'cause
one-sided
that's
because
what they
most
did
people
with
are
the
gonna
last
pick
one.
Marina.
It's going to be 90% Marina, though.
They
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
not do that, because that is so one-sided.
Pearl's
Very
gonna have like
one-sided.
just like Pearl's gonna be a team of just like 5 pros taking on all the Marina guys.
That's so funny. Shout outs to the homie Dennis for the host. But let me go ahead and read off these numbers to you guys real quick. So as far as Mayo is concerned, for overall votes, Mayo got 27% of the votes. Ketchup got 73% of the votes. So it won that round. As far as the solo people on Team Mayo, 52% won on the Mayo side, and then 48% won on the Ketchup side. So Mayo won that one. And then for as a whole for teams, Mayo as a team won 51% more times than Ketchup, which is 49%. So, you know, obviously 2-1, Mayo won. Ketchup
Y'all suck
lost.
because you guys picked freaking Pearl. She sucks. That's Pearl's people. Ugh, Mayo. Of
I know,
course.
and she was so like condescending too about it. It was
Well,
so
she's cool though. I like Pearl.
we
Pearl's a
are-
cool
we want
chick. I can handle Pearl.
I
Pearl's a
like
beast.
Pearl. People be hating.
I like Pearl. Yeah, they do be hating. on
Pearl's
her.
got like crazy attitude. She's
Yeah.
awesome.
She does.
She's
She
got mad
does.
swag. I love her. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dip into some newsy things. Did anybody have anything to say about Splatfest before we move on to the news?
Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 with Splatfest.
Oh, get out of here!
I'm 0 for 0. I haven't even played a single one yet.
I'll say this about Splatoon. I hate when they just lock the whole game down, though. Like, I don't want to. I think you was talking about it earlier. I would have rather played Salmon Run than to play.
Salmon Run was open though
Turf
during
War.
the Splatfest.
Was it open
Was
during
it?
the Splatfest?
Was
Yeah.
I didn't even touch my Switch, so I don't know. So I'm talking from out the side of my neck. But
Yeah, this time it
on
was
the-
actually open for some reason.
okay. Because on the Wii U, it's like everything was locked, and I'm like, I don't want
Yeah, everything else gets locked out.
Yeah.
Weird.
See, I didn't get to play it because I work on weekends, but I do remember the schedule saying that Salmon Run was open because I keep up with that schedule. You feel me? I keeps up with that schedule. So anything else on that before we move on to the news?
I guess not.
Okay.
No. Good
So
to go.
let's go ahead and move on to some news now. So Severed released surprisingly on the Switch today. So to those of you guys who do not know anything about Severed or the people behind Severed, Severed is made by the people who actually made Guacamelee, which was an amazing game, indie game. So I'm gonna go ahead and read a little excerpt here. The touch-based first-person RPG comes to Switch. Following the releases on PlayStation Vita, iOS, 3DS, and Wii U, Drinkbox Studios will release its touch-based first-person RPG Severed for Switch via the Nintendo eShop in North American and European territories today for $15. the developer announced. Here's an overview of the game via Drinkbox Studios. In Severed, take control of a one-armed heroine wielding a living sword as she knits together pieces of her story from both the past and the future. Explore a surreal, non-linear world using a touch-based combat mechanic to defeat enemies in its first-person RPG. Progress in abilities, discover secrets of the land, and grow as you master both the art of attack and defense techniques. Let Severed be your mystery to unravel. So, aside from the whole Severed thing being on the Switch today and it kind of being a surprise release, there's also a lot of people who are kind of upset because it is handheld only. I'm going to let Alex take the reins because I know Alex did have issues with that. So Alex, why don't you go ahead and talk about this?
Yeah, it's heresy. This game this game defies the purpose of the Switch. Yeah. The whole advantage of the Switch is you can be at home, play your game on your TV, then your kid or your dog wants to go outside, and you're like, oh, fuck it, fine, I'll take you. And then you take your Switch with you, and you keep playing your game, but this game doesn't allow you to do that. They should have kept this shit on the 3DS. I don't want to say things like the Switch should get less games, but, this kind of game defeats the purpose of the Switch. I just don't understand why they do stuff like... Oh, shit, I closed my OBS. I don't understand why they do stuff like this, because, you're killing the main selling point of your console with games like this. Apparently, there's a few other ones that are handheld only. I've never heard of them.
This is the second one.
There's another one?
The first one. It's like a rhythm game. It's the first one to be handheld only. Severed is the second one.
That shit's crazy. And I get it. This game is a touchscreen-based game. It was on the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Vita. And you use touchscreen to make cuts on the screen. But if that's the case, why are you putting on a device that can't do it in all of its modes? You're segregating the people who are playing this console, because not everyone plays the Switch on the go.
Yeah.
So, I don't see why they put games like this on the console. They could have put Guacamelee instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally would have double dipped for Guacamelee.
Yeah.
Exactly. That would have been the third time I bought Guacamelee.
Yeah.
I don't think games like this should be on the Switch. It's confusing. They don't market it properly. They don't tell you specifically that this is handheld only, unless you really look into it.
Unless you really look at the eShop, because in the eShop it shows you the control methods for each game. So unless you're really, really looking and paying attention to that information,
most people aren't gonna notice because they don't care enough to check for shit like that. You're gonna confuse people. You're gonna make people second guess buying games. It shouldn't be like this. Any game that you can play on the go, you should be able to play docked.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. That's the specialty of this console, and you're not playing to its strengths. No, sorry, it shouldn't be here then.
Right. Keith and Kuuppon, do you guys have anything to add to what Alex has said, or do you have a counterpoint?
I do have a counter. I mean, I understand what Alex is saying, but it's to be expected. This thing is a hybrid. It is a game console that you can take on the go. These type of games fit perfectly with it. It is, like you said earlier, you don't want to see less games, but it is optional. You don't have to buy this game. This game is specific for that mode.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't like touching my screen. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to buy this game, and I don't want to play it in handheld mode, but I see why they put it on there. I doubt it's going to sell a lot, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Kuuppon.
I was just going to say, I kind of see I see what Alex is saying, and you make a lot of sense with that too, Keith. But I'm just of the mind that the Switch has various different game different modes of play, and it should be utilized in all different modes and not alienated to just one. So the whole it just being handheld only, and then people who might want to do just want to play with their controllers or something like that, or dock mode or something, kind of alienates them. So hopefully we don't get too many more games like that, or if there is games like that, maybe they can implement another way of form of play, because remember, it is a hybrid and you gotta play to all of its strengths and stuff. So I mean, other than that, I mean, I didn't plan on getting it. I really don't see.
Now it's
I mean,
clear
the game looks
why
interesting, but
it's pretty clear why Nintendo themselves didn't market this game.
Yeah.
And why it wasn't at E3, it wasn't in any of their sizzle reels, and it just kind of was like, oh, here's our game.
And it is kind of some piss poor way of like the way it just kind of appeared, like surprise, motherfucker. Like, wait, what? Like, so hopefully they don't do this too much often, and hopefully they don't get too many games where it's just one particular mode. Because
like, if this is gonna become a regular thing, like Nintendo needs to make a specific section of the eShop for the Switch that says handheld only.
Yeah, that would be good.
I agree with that.
I could work with that.
At least make it clear so people understand what they're getting into, because the way it's being handled now is not okay.
Yeah, because somebody might purchase it thinking, oh, this is a cool game, and then they find out it's only handheld mode, and then they're going to be mad, and you can't get any refunds or anything of that nature, which I think Nintendo should implement some kind of... You're more
likely to raise the dead than get a refund from Nintendo.
Yeah, big time. I doubt it would ever happen, but it would be nice if they gave you like at least an hour's grace period of refunds for eShops, but you know that's never happening.
Hell, Microsoft fucking does it now.
I mean...
They give you a 2-hour grace period if you want a refund.
Yeah, they should get it. There should be something like that implemented, especially with like the way things are going to be going with the Switch and stuff, especially for stuff like this. And if they're not going to have a separate area for like handheld only, at least give people, you know, who might make a mistake of purchasing a game find out it's only handheld. Because I didn't even know Voice was only handheld. I didn't even check that. I was going to get that game
before.
I knew about the game, but I totally didn't know it was just handheld. I knew it was on the iOS and stuff, but now that I know, I'm not getting it on Switch because it's kind of pointless.
I agree to that though.
So
I'm in agreement with pretty much what everybody said here. Like I, however, am not opposed to handheld only games, because I feel like if there's a game that fits for the Switch, it should be there, whether it's handheld only or whether it only works ultimately on docked mode. Because I mean, there's just certain games that are better.
Just make it obvious.
But I agree with you guys when you say make it obvious. Like Nintendo, if there's gonna be an influx, and it's only the second one, so I can't even say it's an influx. But if there is a time where there's an influx, where there's a lot of mobile games coming on over and they're handheld only, Nintendo should definitely make a specific part of the eShop so that people understand this is handheld only. Because here's the thing that we've been saying for a long time on Team Red when it comes down to the Switches. Like, yes, we understand that the Nintendo Switch is a handheld console hybrid, but we also have to remember that it is also a handheld, and there's a lot of people that like to play on handheld. There's a lot of people that like to play on mobile, and not everybody is us. There are some people out there that don't mind playing games on a touchscreen, that would like to, you know, have some games like Severed, even if it's not to our taste. You feel me? Like, they're not getting a sell for me. I don't want to play this game on a touchscreen, but there's somebody out there that has no problem at all playing this on a touchscreen, and those people should be able to have access to those games. I'm not going to say don't put them on the eShop if it doesn't utilize both assets of the Switch. You know, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. As far as it being touchscreen only, I understand that you have to, you know, you have to be very precise with the cuts and cutting off like the different parts of the creatures and stuff like that. I feel that if they really wanted this to work, there is a way they could have done that. Because one thing a lot of people try to forget exists, but it does exist, and I actually don't mind that it exists, is gyro and motion controls. If they really wanted to use the gyro controls. Like if they really wanted to get this to work in both docked mode and in handheld mode, I would not be opposed to playing this game with the gyro and slicing with the gyro controls. Maybe add like a cursor or something.
It would be pretty similar to swiping. Like it wouldn't be that, like it wouldn't be as accurate, I guess, but it's not going to be so bad that you can't play that game.
But see, my only thing with the touch screen, like using the touch screen and stuff, is that we don't have the stylus type of deal anymore. Like they don't utilize stylus control, so it makes it less, you know, you got to use your fingers and stuff, and ain't nobody trying to be sitting up there swiping with their fingers like they would on the phone. Like maybe if they allow us to have styluses to use with these things, I don't know if you can at all, because I've tried
that mimic like your hand touch that you can use.
So like I don't know, maybe they'll come out with, you know, Switch styluses or something. You can actually use those and make some of these games a little bit more precise and stuff if they're gonna go handheld mode only or touchscreen mode only. But overall, they really should have a separate section. They use their touch touchscreen, handheld only, games, so that way people know immediately and there's no confusion, and people who want just handheld mode, touchscreen games, they can go for that. But overall, I do believe that there should be options for both sides.
Yeah. If Drinkbox were smart though, they would do the gyro thing and let people.
Yeah, like why not? I don't get, like, it obviously would take a little more work for them, but like you have a system that can cater to 2 markets. Like why not take advantage of it?
Because that would definitely increase the chance.
Increase your sales too.
Exactly, because now I have zero interest in buying this game.
Yep.
Whereas if I could play it on the TV, I would have at least gave it a shot.
Right.
And the crazy part is, it's a good game because they made an amazing game out of Guacamelee. And
Guacamelee kicks ass.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, cool. It's from those guys. I want to try out their other game. Oh, it's only handheld only. There's only touch controls. Damn. Well, I can't buy it because I'm not into those type of games. Right. But if they have the option of both sides, be like, oh, okay, I could use gyro controls, or I could use my Pro Controller or something.
Yeah, there you go. The only time I'm going to be swiping on my Switch screen is when they finally give us a damn web browser.
Facts. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next news topic. We're going to be talking about a game by the name of Gear.Club Unlimited. So this game was announced last week. Sometimes it was unveiled to be coming to the Nintendo Switch this year. So
Forza for Switch.
I'm reading this right now from Nintendo Life, and just kind of give you guys a little excerpt, a little backstory. It says, in early June, publisher Microids outlined 6 games that it has in development for the Nintendo Switch, one of which was listed as Gear.Club, developed by Eden Games, the original with the name... I'm talking too fast. Developed by Eden Games, the original with that name on mobile is free to download, utilizing ads and in-app purchases to make money. Still due in Q4 this year, what we'll get on the Nintendo Switch is actually Gear.Club Unlimited. The name certainly suggests that it'll be a release loaded with content, including branded cars and plenty of races and tracks. Microids has also given us an early look at the teaser trailer, which is primarily cinematic. You can see that below with some official details and a couple of glamour shots. So this isn't the first mobile game that we've had coming to Switch of this caliber. Of course, we've had some... Yeah, we've had some other mobile games, but like of this caliber where, there's mobile games out there that actually try to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more stylized. The first, like Alex mentioned, was Implosion. And now we're going to be getting Gear.Club Unlimited, which is like a racing simulator type of game on the style of maybe like a Forza Motorsport. I don't think it's a sim. It's probably more like an arcadey type of game.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I hope so.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting game. Is anybody here interested in this particularly?
Absolutely.
So Keith, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you feel about this news?
Well, if you listen to the Live and Level podcast, we kind of talked about this over there, and we were also chiming in with other mobile games that could fill those voids that the Switch doesn't have. But I'm very interested in this game because I want to see if they're going to update the visuals and how it's going to perform on the Switch, and how Nintendo fans are going to react to this type of game. I was, once they announced this, I started looking up I think it's called Gear Club something on the iOS, and I was looking it up, trying to see the reviews and things like that, and people were comparing it to Forza. So I think this is a very good thing, and it definitely fills that gap instead of Nintendo fans waiting on the next... What was that game that got canceled on the
Project Cars.
Project Cars. So instead of waiting on Project Cars too, you know what I'm saying? You can just play this, and don't just knock it just because it's a mobile game. Actually, give it a shot.
Yeah. And the interesting thing that I've noticed too is a lot of people knock mobile games, but in this day and age, mobile games are really trying to come on the come up. Like there's a lot of mobile games out here that are trying to be on the caliber of a console game. Implosion is definitely one of those games that tries to kind of reach for that, try to reach for that benchmark, so to speak. And even though some of these games are kind of, I guess they're kind of simplistic, there you go, because of the
control scheme.
Because of the control scheme, there you go. Thank you. You are reading my mind today. Because of the control scheme that you normally would find on, cell phones. But I could really see them becoming a little bit more complicated as this kind of stuff kind of evolves. I'm really looking forward to see what Gear Club does. I hope that it is an actual racing game that could kind of fill the gap from like a Project Cars or, you know, some of these other racing games out here. Anybody else want to talk about this before we move on?
Yeah. My view is a little different than your guys', I guess. I didn't buy the Switch to play cell phone games.
I feel you.
It's cool that they're getting these games. I like Implosion. I think Implosion's a good game, but it comes down to price point. As long as they keep these games under $20 and all the content is unlocked, I think that's totally cool.
Right.
But if they try to pass off cell phone games as $60 full retail games to compete with stuff like Forza, that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be seeing any $60 like mobile ports.
Not yet, anyways. But like, as long as it's like if they stay within reason, that's totally cool. It's an option. Like, it's better than no racing game, of course.
Yeah.
The game actually does look pretty good. We'll see graphically what they do with it, because obviously the Switch can do more than most cell phones, so it should be getting some sort of resolution boost or graphic boost. But it's cool to see. I just don't want to see the Switch get flooded with cell phone games. Like, I get it. You guys want to see them fill gaps with cell phone games, but again, a lot of people didn't buy this console for cell phone games. They could have bought a cell phone.
I understand that, but at the same time, you can kind of say the same thing about indie games. You know, like, there's a lot of indie games out here that are really, really good games, and a lot of them are even like competing for like high reviews is on the same style of like these AAA games.
I would prefer indie games over cell phone games.
The only difference though is indie games aren't on cell phones.
Yeah.
It depends.
Not all of them.
Not all of them though.
There are some,
but
just a few.
There are some, but they're not like like a big influx of them like they are with iOS games. But
overall, I'm just saying, like, this console is more than capable of playing full-on games, not just cell phone games.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
My thing with the whole thing is like, okay, this is how I'm looking at it. It's like, I like the fact that we do get some pretty obscure games. It's okay if we get a few of the, you know, cell phone games, but I don't want the Switch to become the cell phone, you know, box.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, you know, I don't want it to be known for, oh, well, you guys just get indies and cell phone games and a sprinkle of, you know, exclusives from Nintendo and then maybe a couple of third parties here. I want, you know, the system to actually flourish from that. Yeah, like, I don't mind some cell phone games. Sure, if there's some good ones out there and they stay within reasonable price, like Alex said, perfect. But I didn't buy this for cell phone games, like he said. At all.
The last thing on my mind.
That is the last thing on my mind. I'll buy indies over cell phone games all day because, like we said, you know, indie games, you're not going to find as many of them on cell phones as you would, you know, the other way around. So I would prefer.
Okay, like, the main thing is price point. As long as they stay within reason, then it's totally cool.
I agree. I definitely agree, but I do think that sometimes people do underestimate some of these cell phone games because there's a lot of
some of them are good
out there that are actually
a lot of cell phone games are only bad because of the touchscreen.
And that's kind of where I'm trying to go with that. Like, there's a lot of developers out here that are trying to actually like push the envelope.
If they utilize more of the Switch's capabilities with their game, then definitely.
Yeah, like, I know I always sound negative. I mean, like, it's totally cool if they bring their games over as long as they take advantage of the hardware, use the proper button layout, keep the price in check, and make sure we're getting all the content. Like, if they're doing all those shit, if they check all the boxes, that's totally cool. But, like, if that's what we're getting instead of major third-party games, that's still not okay.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you there.
I agree. I agree to that, Alex. Definitely about the price point. But see, what Mohammed Alavi said in the comment, I'm sorry if I butcher your last name. He said it needs more third-party than mobile games. See, that's
totally.
Thing, like, but the thing is, if you're going to continue to wait and be mad when these games don't come, and you're passing up all these other games that are coming, like these mobile games, like I'll just give you an example. There's a game called Modern Combat. It's basically
Call of Duty knockoff.
It's basically a knockoff Call of Duty. If that game was to come over to the Switch with this online multiplayer, it would definitely fill that void. And you're right. The price has to be right. It has to be at least.
It has to be priced accordingly.
Right. And I definitely agree to that. But Dude, I would definitely check that game out instead of trying to wait every year. Is Call of Duty coming this year? Is Battlefield coming this year? Like, I don't have time for that. Like, just go ahead and give me a game.
Yeah. Well, I ain't waiting for those games. Like, my thing is, I'm not waiting for things. It would be nice if they come over, but I'm not holding my breath for everything. And I'm going to try all these other obscure games, even if they are, you know, iOS games that came over. But like Alex said, if they're within reasonable price, they utilize the full capability of the Switch. We're not getting ganked, and they're giving us all the you know, DLC and whatever else is on there and content. I'm cool with them. I'm okay with trying them out. But like I said, I didn't buy this. None of us picked up a Switch to buy any iOS games. Period. That was not in the forefront of our minds at all. I didn't stand in the lines. Nobody pre-ordered no Switches thinking I'm gonna get the new you know, iOS game from so and so and such and such. Yeah, like nobody was thinking that, and that's where I'm coming from. No one was thinking that, but if they come over, they're within reason. Like we said, it's cool. We'll try them out. All of us will try them out. We know that. Like this is our time. We will try it.
Implosion's a good game.
Yeah.
Because they checked all the boxes. The price is under $20. They made the graphics a little better. All the content's unlocked. And like it
actually did pretty good.
It's a hack and slash game. It's a good game.
Yeah, and it did good.
It's under $20, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, as they check all the boxes, then it's totally cool. But like we're seeing microtransactions in full price AAA games now. That's what I'm worried about these cell phone games.
Right.
Yeah. They are already so
because they're usually free to play on iOS for the most part. Yeah. And you with the microtransactions included. So if they come over to the Switch, we have to pay a short emissions fee. And then the, you know, stuff on top of that and the microtransactions. So it's like,
I know where y'all are coming from with that.
That's just where I'm coming from. But overall, I mean, as long as they check the boxes, I'm cool with trying them out.
That racing game looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does look good though. So that was just a trailer, wasn't it? Like, was that in game?
That's like a CGI trailer though.
Okay, so I mean, that's a nice little CGI trailer.
I've seen some gameplay from the iOS version, and it's it's a pretty nice looking game. Like, it's not amazing, but it's a nice looking game.
But this is good for people who are into racing games and need something to tide them over until maybe we see some type of bigger game.
Right.
But I mean, it's definitely worth a shot checking it out and stuff. I'm just not a racer type, so I probably will be passing on it.
The Switch doesn't have simulation racers. They got
at all. So somebody can make a good money off of this.
And I think there's another
like the Switch has a lot of areas that
not Wipeout,
Red Out.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from that. That was a good little discussion. So we have another game that's going to be coming to the Switch later this year. And this is a game that's already been on the other consoles as well as PC. And it is a game called Brawl Out. And if you guys have never heard of this game before,
oh my God, really?
It is like Smash Brothers.
It
has indie characters. I think a lot of them are just for the game, but there's also a cameo from the dude from
they actually have Ori in here.
Are there other indie guys in there?
Yeah, Ori was in here. I think they released Ori. I think.
Nice.
Ori's in this game?
I'm copying this.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I gotta check. I mean, it might be a different game I was thinking of, but because
they need to add Shovel Knight, Shantae, and Guacamelee into this shit.
They really do.
This looks cute though.
These other characters in the background, they look like they're fucking knockoff Skylanders.
Right? I was like, is Skylanders Brawler?
I like it aesthetically though. I do like the
the art style is good. I saw some gameplay. It looks even faster than Smash.
Yeah, this looks interesting. It's not too bad. I mean, you know, until Smash comes over, you can get this because we know Smash is coming over.
This will be a good way to tide people over till Smash.
Yeah, until Smash gets here.
Is it coming over?
Well, they would be stupid if they don't bring it over. They'd be
Smash is coming. Come on,
Smash is coming. Like, I'm not even worried about it. It ain't coming this year though, because we got so many stuff coming in. We'll hear about it next year.
This game is so similar to come out. This could be Nintendo saying, "Hey, we don't have Smash coming in the pipeline."
I doubt it. No, they're bringing Smash. Nintendo ain't gonna. Nintendo's bringing this over because they know they don't have Smash.
Well, if that was the case, they wouldn't let Rhyme come over because that's pretty much Zelda.
Yeah. These are just fillers until they can get their big game ready because Smash is coming. That is a missed opportunity.
Nintendo's not dumb. Like, people will play this till Smash. Then when Smash comes, they'll drop this like a sack of potatoes.
Exactly.
And you're gonna get those.
And that's
you know,
not
people-
trying to make offense to this game. I'm just
It's
saying.
not.
Like,
It's just that's
like,
what's
that's
gonna
just
happen.
reality.
It's true.
It is what it is.
I
Yeah.
can't
So
argue
let's
that.
go ahead and read a small excerpt from this article here from Nintendo Everything. It says that Brawl Out is heading to Switch.
I like the
Listing
name.
on the European Switch eShop reveals a release is planned for late 2017. Brawl Out is a party fighting game that debuted on Steam earlier this year. It's designed for couch play, online ranked matches, and competitive tournaments. We have plenty of details about Brawl Out in the overview below. A trailer for the game is also attached to the break. I don't want to go through all of this stuff. Just know it's like Smash with indie characters. It looks pretty fun. I like the way that it looks aesthetically, and I think that we've pretty much.
And if you want it on Steam, it's actually 50% off right now.
Yeah, it's 50% off right now on Steam. I think this game came out in April. And
Yeah, it shows
Something like
April 20th. Yeah.
I think I also read somewhere that Brawl Out is coming to the Switch in November. Y'all can let me know if that's bogus or not, because I don't want to mislead people. But I thought that I saw that it was supposed to be coming in November.
Anything in the window of Mario Odyssey is DOA.
Yeah, so they probably shouldn't do that.
Well, Mario is in October, so they're good if they come out in
Yeah, well,
November.
that game's gonna take a long time to beat, though.
Yeah.
But whatever, we'll see. I hope this game does well.
Yeah.
I'll say this about Brawl Out though.
Mhm.
The one thing that they got over Nintendo is that they don't have the restrictions that Nintendo has when it comes
For
to
their
Smash.
online.
They
Yeah.
can do whatever it is they want to do with this game that Nintendo wants to do, but they put themselves in that box. I guess you could say.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing that they could take advantage of. Say, hey, we don't have those restrictions. We can put finishers in our game.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it might have better online.
Oh, I pretty much can promise you it will.
Snap.
I bet
voice
you you'll be able to like invite your friends to this game too.
Oh.
And maybe,
snap.
my God, you can even talk to them.
Oh. I guarantee you it won't be as laggy as Smash Brothers. I guarantee
Oh,
you that.
damn.
'Cause
No.
Smash Brothers is the worst game to play online. Like, I love Smash
Yeah.
Brothers, but playing online is a pain.
I really hope they sort that out for the new one.
I doubt it.
I hope so too.
It just seems like we're still on the
Like,
Wii
Smash
servers.
is so good locally, but like when you play it online, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
We're
like
still
Smash
we're
Brothers
still
4.
stuck on Wii U servers right now, and I'm sorry, I'm
Probably.
not paying for that.
Yeah, this game looks pretty good. I just
Alex,
watched the trailer.
Alex be on Nintendo's freaking Twitter all day. Every day. They're gonna block him soon.
They're gonna block my ass eventually.
They're still gonna block you, man. That's hilarious.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on from Brawl Out. But before we move on to our next topic, I want to go ahead and give some shout outs in the chat. Shout outs to the 29 people watching right now. We got the homie Quake up in here. Muhammad Alavi's up in here. Terrence C is up in here. Got the homie Unforgiven up in here. EJ Johnston is up in here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming to the podcast and participating in the conversation with us. Make sure you go ahead and give this a thumbs up, give it a like, because that really helps the podcast out. It helps get people over here to watch, and it helps get it on the front page. So go ahead and do that. Help us out, man. Help us out. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next newsy topic, and it is about Metroid. So Samus Edition new Nintendo 3DS XL is going to be arriving in stores on the 15th of September, which is the same day
Same day
that
as the game,
Metroid
right?
Returns comes out.
But it doesn't come with the game, though, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
They do a lot of those special editions that don't actually come with
Don't have the game,
Yeah.
right?
I think, didn't they do that with Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter was like that, yeah. I think some of the Pokemon ones are like that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's coming with the game or not, but it is a special edition.
It's a good looking
3DS.
3DS, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't really like orange, but this looks nice.
It looks good.
So here's some pictures of what it looks like. This is what the top of the
Nope,
clamshell
it doesn't
looks
include it.
like. This is a couple of details in the art. And then there's also some things on the back as well. That actually looks really nice.
Yeah. So it doesn't come with the game, by the way. I just
Yeah.
I figured as much.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't understand why they do that. Why
I don't know why they do
bundle
that. They
stuff
should
with
just throw the game in there.
Nintendo
Like
gonna
what the
get that
heck?
money.
They
Yeah,
trying to
because-
get all of the money.
Because they know you're gonna buy the game full price anyways.
Right? I mean, they're not wrong. They're like, yeah, they're gonna
They're
get
not
the
wrong.
game.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. They're like, let's get this shit out here because these fools about to out here
The
about to
box
buy it.
looks good too.
Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter 3DS did come with the game digitally. It was Majora's Mask.
It was Majora's
3DS
Mask that didn't come with.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys for correcting.
That's even more weird because that's a Nintendo first party one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Also, there was some other things that came up as far as Metroid is concerned. Remember how last week we talked about how this was gonna have amiibo locked content? Where there's some interesting reasons as to what they said about this controversy. So let me go ahead and read this. This is from usgamers.net, and it goes, at a preview event for Metroid Samus Returns, Nintendo finally clarified amiibo support for the game, especially with regards to how hard mode will work in the game. As it turns out, this probably was a case where better communication could have cleared up the whole situation. Here's the lowdown on what Nintendo told US Gamer. When I asked Nintendo representatives at the preview event if hard mode was like behind amiibo, they were clear to make the distinction. Fusion mode, they corrected me. Yes, fusion mode, which will give players access to Samus's fusion suit, as well as a more challenging difficulty in the game, is indeed locked behind the Metroid amiibo. This content will not be offered as a separate DLC in Nintendo's digital eShop. So fusion mode would not be accessible in the digital eShop as DLC.
Wow.
However, there will be a standard hard mode that will be unlocked once players complete the game on regular difficulty. This mode, which is confusingly separate from the fusion mode's harder difficulty, is said to be harder than the standard difficulty, but not as hard as that found in fusion mode.
So hard mode is still stuck behind a freaking amiibo, basically.
Hard mode is still...
That's crazy.
Well, fusion mode is still locked behind
hard
mode.
What they mean is like nightmare mode.
Oh,
right.
Snap.
So you got standard mode, hard mode, and fusion, which is nightmare.
Let's not talk over each other. Let's start with Keith. Tell us how you feel about this news.
Well, I was just going to say they took that wording from Microsoft E3 conference.
Oh no!
Pretty much.
Man, I don't know. Nintendo, I never like what you call it, amiibos. Yeah. I don't really have too much to say about this. That's retarded. It's just retarded, Nintendo. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Trying to play us.
All right, Kuuppon, what do you have to say about this?
They trying to play. See, I'm not a Metroid fan, so it's not gonna affect me. But it's still stupid, and I really hope people don't fall for this. But they are. Most people are gonna buy the amiibo because they want it as a collection, which is fine by me, fine by everybody, cool. But that's not cool for people who really want to have those hard mode, or I should say, probably like lethal mode or something. So you got your normal mode, you got your hard mode, and then you got expert mode. And expert mode, which is fusion mode, held behind an amiibo, which you can't get unless you get the amiibo, and you know those amiibo are going to go off the shelves quickly.
They're already sold out.
Yeah, and you might not ever seen, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to have a long, they're probably not going to have them around for a while.
They still haven't even restocked the 30th anniversary Zelda ones yet.
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah. Like, you're never getting these.
Right, so you won't be able to get that mode.
How do you feel about this, Alex? How do you feel?
I feel the same way as before. In fact, it's even more insulting now that they specified, oh, there's still a hard mode, but if you get this toy, you get an even harder mode. Like, that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why people are okay with this. Like, my favorite Nintendo shills aren't talking about it. They won't talk about it. I just don't get it. Like, they all want to shit on DLC and microtransactions and stuff, which I agree with. You should shit on microtransactions in games. But at the same time, you can't shit on that and then be okay with this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, like we were talking about last week, this was always one of my greatest fears with Amiibo. It wasn't the fact that they were collectibles, it was the fact of how they could be misused in regards to locked content. And with this, it seems like it's being realized, and I really hope that they reconsider and they find a way to make it accessible through maybe beating the game, or you have to do some things to unlock it somehow. But I'm not really a fan of amiibo locked content. You know, I'm okay with like small things like we talked about last week, like maybe
skins and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's like some upgrades or whatever. It's not an online game, so
Small
it's not a big
things,
deal to
yeah.
have upgrades as
Right.
you know an incentive. But like to have whole modes, I'm not okay with that. And it's like Nintendo is one of the companies they're getting into it now. You know, they did it with the Zelda
and
DLC.
again, like we were talking about last week, the people who are buying the amiibo most likely are never going to scan it, especially not to play a hard mode. They just want to keep it in the box for the most part. And the people who want to play the hardest mode, they want that fusion mode, probably don't want to buy a toy to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, I'm sure there's a bunch that do want to have all of that, but I bet you there's a lot of people who just want to unlock the hard mode.
Or they just want the hard mode, yeah.
The real hard mode, not the intermediate mode.
Yeah.
Intermediate mode.
So, I don't know, man. Nintendo's getting into it. You know, they did it with the
Zelda.
Zelda.
It's a little too much. It's a little too much.
They did it with the Zelda thing. They didn't lock it behind the amiibo, but you do have to get that DLC if you want that extra hard mode. So
yeah, the master mode or whatever.
They're getting into
but
it.
I would have preferred them to do it that way for this too. At the very least, you're buying DLC that isn't locked behind a toy.
But again,
isn't going to be $32.
Like we said before, with that Zelda DLC,
Kinda, sorta.
You're getting the
other stuff
Seasons
with it.
of Hero
Yeah,
or whatever the hell it's called. Like the actual new story mode. It's all tied together. So that's a little different. This one, you're literally just unlocking a hard mode.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, maybe
that's too much. They went a little too far this time.
Or maybe what they could do for people who do not want the amiibo, make it $1 in the eShop and they let people you shouldn't even have to pay for it, to be honest, at all.
It's a hard
mode. I know, but I'm just saying, but I mean, if it's going to be locked behind an amiibo for the people who don't want the amiibo, just give it to them for like, I don't know, 99 freaking cent in the eShop or something.
And like, you probably can't even find the amiibo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to find this amiibo. Like, if you haven't already pre-ordered it, which is sold out from what you said, then you're not going to find it anywhere. And if they restock it, which I doubt is going to happen anytime soon, you're SOL. You don't get the hard.
If Zelda doesn't get restock love, Metroid sure as hell isn't getting restock.
So let me ask y'all this then. Is it more okay to lock things behind the paywall that's just straight up pay, or is it worse to lock it behind an amiibo? Because it sounds like what y'all are saying. Bad. It sounds like what y'all are saying is it's worse to have.
No, they're both bad, but I'm saying because
of course the amiibo's worse. It costs more and they're hard to find.
Yeah, it's bad on both ends.
But the general concept is both bad.
However, what it sounded like y'all were saying, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is that
I know what I sound like, but that's not what I'm saying.
For Zelda to have their content locked because it's just paid without the amiibo, but it's not okay. That's
not what I said.
No, that's not what we said. They had more content with that DLC too.
I said it's tied to a new story content,
but
I didn't say you buy the hard mode alone in Zelda.
So
I never
it's just
said
the fact that it's the hard mode alone.
Yeah, yes, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you just literally put a hard mode behind a toy.
You're not getting new story DLC in the Samus game with the amiibo. You're getting a harder mode. That's it. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous to have to spend like what? How much was that thing? I think the amiibo is like $30.
One you have to get in the 2-pack, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-pack. It's $30. So you have to pay $30 for a hard mode. That doesn't make sense to me.
Disgusting.
As opposed to $15 for hard mode plus an extra story plus some extra content and other stuff. There's a big difference there. Big.
See, me and Nia were on the same page. I was thinking the same question she was thinking.
But it's not. But at the same time, I don't like. I mean, where I was coming from with let the people pay 99 cents for just the hard mode if you're putting it behind a fucking
I don't
toy.
even agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. But I mean, goddamn, something.
So that they're not having to pay a whole $30.
Yeah, so they don't have to pay a full whole $30 or something, like, or just give it to them.
All right.
Do they still sell those like amiibo cards? Is that still a thing?
I think it was just for Animal Crossing.
Just for Animal Crossing.
All right, but let me get Keith in here. I hear y'all's point now. You made your voices very clear. Keith, why don't you get in here and go ahead and talk about this before we move on?
The difference between the amiibo is that it's going to be used for other games. It could be used for the Metroid Prime 4 that's coming up. So it's not just, it stops with this Samus Returns game. So you're gonna be able to continue to use these amiibos, but I don't. I'm on y'all side when it comes to amiibo. I don't want to buy them for extra content, but at least you know that later on down the line you will be able to play those things. But Kuuppon, you said that if it was $1, even though you say you don't want to pay for hard mode, it sounds like it is the amiibo. It sounds like the issue is it's a toy. I don't want to buy the toy, but I don't mind paying for hard mode if it's $1.
See, I collect the amiibo, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't plan on getting this amiibo at all. But I'm just kind of trying to figure it out because
like a middle ground.
like a middle ground or something. It's only a middle ground what I'm trying to come at. Me personally, nobody should pay for shit for a hard mode. Period.
Yeah.
That's where I stand. Point blank.
Nobody should have.
No one should pay for shit. It should just be a hard mode after you play the game on. Like after you play the original hard mode, then that fusion mode should be unlocked. That's how it should go. Yeah. That's how I feel. But to mitigate the whole buying the amiibo for anybody who don't give a fuck about an amiibo, maybe a 99-cent, fusion mode on eShop or something is the alternative. But I prefer you play the game twice. You play the game normal mode, hard mode, and then you unlock fusion mode. That's how I prefer it. Period.
Like maybe it should have been like you play the standard mode, and then when you finish and beat that, you get the hard mode. Then you play that, and then you can get the fusion.
Yep,
mode.
That's exactly how I feel. That's how it should be. Period. Point blank.
Yeah,
and the whole amiibo thing is just if you're getting the amiibo anyway as a collector's edition, you can unlock fusion mode without having to do the other two.
Right.
That's how I think it should be. Period.
That's a good way of doing that. They should have allowed it to be.
That's how it should be. Like, we have fusion mode on this.
There's no reason why a difficulty mode should be locked behind a paywall.
Yeah,
definitely.
It doesn't make sense.
And now, in last generation, we were trying to tell y'all like this DLC stuff might get out of hand, and here it is in 2017, and.
Yeah, and then
let's just be real. Like nobody used to shit on DLC more than Nintendo fans,
right?
And then when Nintendo started doing it, they ate that shit up.
Yeah,
and now Nintendo's like, "Fuck it, we'll just do whatever we want."
And I just wanted to throw something out there that are we really able to use these amiibo for other games? Like, have we really?
Has it really been with that?
Yeah, have they really done that? Because I haven't really seen it. Like, I can use my Super Smash Brothers amiibo on other games, but not to a certain extent.
But they've changed it now.
And they changed it.
It used to be if I had one Mario amiibo, I could use that same Mario amiibo in all the games.
But now
with the Samus one, you need 4 different Samus amiibo to get the 4 different add-ons.
Yeah. It's not like you can use the Super Smash Bros. Amiibo.
Yeah, I can't use my Smash.
You were supposed to be able to just use Samus, like Zero Suit Samus and the regular Samus, and you could use either one of them, and you could get all that stuff unlocked. But now all of a sudden, I gotta buy a 2-pack that's $30 with a fucking fusion mode on it.
You have to have 4 Samus amiibo to have all the access to that game.
Yep.
Isn't that insane?
That's a little annoying. And 2 of them you won't see anymore for the most part. The Zero Suit Samus and the regular Samus, you won't see that too much anymore.
I agree. We'll have to talk about this another day, about the whole amiibo thing another day. But I see everybody's points, and you guys made great points. Hopefully Nintendo figures it out, but they cashed in on
Nintendo
lines of amiibo. They getting into
Nintendo.
So if nobody else in the community has told you, we've told you. So just keep your eyes peeled. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna get worse before it get better.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to our next newsy topic. So Nintendo is bringing back the Nintendo World Championships. I'm actually pretty excited for this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a cornball. I really liked this when they had it at, what was it, E3 2016?
I think so. No, that was 15.
2015.
Because they had it before that awful E3 presentation.
I thoroughly
the World Championships.
Like the part with the Mario Maker. And
that's the only part I liked, was the Mario Maker part.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So anyway, let's go ahead and give you guys the details on what's going on with the Nintendo World Championship. So they're going to be starting this in October. And this is from Nintendo's official website for their Nintendo World Championships. It says, this October, Nintendo fans will put their gaming skills to the ultimate test in an epic battle to win the Nintendo World Championships 2017. It all kicks off with 8 qualifying events at Best Buy stores across the United States. Join the celebration of Nintendo's past, present, and future, and maybe even win a trip to NYC for the final. So it's open to residents of the United States and Canada, excluding Quebec. So it says that they're going to be having events on the August 19th and the 20th in New York and the San Francisco Bay Area. On the 26th and the 27th, there's going to be events in Chicago and Los Angeles. On September 2nd and 3rd, there's going to be events in Minneapolis and Dallas. And then on September 9th and 10th, there's going to be events in Seattle and Miami. So if you live anywhere near these areas, go there and participate. And you might be able to make it to the finals. I'm assuming they're going to shoot you down to NYC at the Nintendo World Store, where you can duke it out with the other finalists until they get an official winner. It doesn't have the Canadian places on the website, but they say that they're going to host it in Canada as well. So maybe Nintendo of Canada has the locations on their site. I'm not really sure. But if you are in any of these areas, there is a registration form on the official Nintendo website where you can apply. So anybody want to talk about the Nintendo World Championships? Anybody interested in this at all in the panel?
Don't care.
You don't care.
Not
okay.
really.
Nobody cares. Okay, well, I'm gonna look forward to watching the finals. Okay, hopefully they have some really interesting competitors this year. I know that.
I hope they have people that know how to play games this time.
I do too. But you know what? This kind of reminds me when me and Kuuppon were just watching. What was it? The tournament we were watching. I think we were watching.
Pokken tournament.
We were watching Pokken, and I think we saw a little bit of ARMS.
And we were watching ARMS as
tournament,
well.
the
The ARMS
finals
one was good. Yeah.
Like when they were when the sorry people were playing, it wasn't that interesting. But then when the beasts were in like the finals, that's when it got hyped.
That's when it got hyped.
It's like that at any tournament. Like there's gonna be some people that's really not so good, but then like when it narrows down to the really really good people, that's when it's hyped. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
This is for the 3DS. This tournament it says the game is for Mario Kart for 3DS.
Mario Kart for 3DS? What?
Yes.
Is that it?
I'm looking at the bottom
really
half of
old.
it. Look at the bottom half down here. It's saying qualifiers will be held. The game is Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS families.
Oh.
Time trial. Like ain't nobody trying to watch
Nobody
this.
wants to play. Okay, I don't.
Why would they do that?
Like,
They
nobody-
just released
nah,
Mario Kart
I'm
8
sorry,
Deluxe.
though. That's
Why
a
not
that's a
Mario
fail.
Kart 8 Deluxe? If it's Mario Kart 7, I don't care anymore. Okay, y'all have
Yeah,
it.
it's a
she's
fail.
right. There's a 12 and younger like bracket, and then there's a 13 and old bracket, and they're both for Mario Kart 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
this
don't
is
care.
trash.
This is
No
confirmed
thanks.
trash. Move on.
Confirmed
Moving
trash.
on.
All right, let's move on. If this was actually
Hey.
console
Hey.
games, I would care.
You get a chance to play Mario Odyssey.
I played it.
But that's not for regular people, though. That's for
Right.
people who
Not.
go to these. Who go to
Like-
Man,
these-
I played that shit, and I didn't have to play a goddamn 3DS to play it.
Right.
Okay,
Nah, I'm good,
I'm
fam.
actually disappointed. Wah, wah,
That's wild. Like, that's pretty lame.
For
Mario
that?
Kart 7 is what, like
It's such an
5,
old
6
game.
years old now?
Why is this a thing?
I don't understand. They
All these
literally
games.
just brought out Mario Kart 8
Yeah,
Deluxe
they're-
a couple months ago.
Mario
Yeah, so
Kart
while
8,
you're doing that, you
Splatoon.
can play Mario Odyssey and
there could be a
Metroid
Splatoon.
Samus.
Well, I guess Splatoon wouldn't work because
Arms.
that's a team game. But like
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ARMS, you could have did
They coulda
ARMS
did-
tournament.
Yeah, ARMS, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
This
Like,
is
but
stupid.
they did Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. Y'all are that's trash
What
now.
if
I'm
this is the
sorry.
game that they're playing, but then when they actually go there, they're gonna be playing other stuff. So
Maybe.
the finals.
I mean, if
'Cause
they
that's
do
what
so,
did
I
last
mean,
time.
I hope so because this is not no.
If it's just Mario Kart 7, I'm no longer interested.
It wouldn't even make sense.
Yes. All right. So moving on. So there's some Dragon Quest news and some other Japanese sales number news from last week. And so the thing of note here is that Dragon Quest 11 did very, very well in Japan, did very well on the 3DS and the PlayStation 4 as well. So for the 3DS, on release, it sold 1,148,888 copies, which is really, really impressive. And then for the PlayStation 4, it was 950,315. The third bestseller was Splatoon. The fourth bestseller was there's a new Professor Layton in Japan.
Hmm?
Is there a new Professor Layton that's only in Japan?
I didn't hear about this. Wait,
Because
what?
on number 4 it says Layton's Mystery Journey.
Says
Oh,
it
you
came out
bitches.
July 20th.
What?
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
know
a,
that was another
wow.
successor Layton.
They better bring that over.
The Millionaire's Conspiracy.
Wow. Okay. So number 5 was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 6 was Hey Pikmin Womp. Number 7 was Final Fantasy.
She said wrong.
Final Fantasy 13, The Zodiac Age. Final Fantasy 13 had a.
That's 12.
Sorry, Final Fantasy 12 had a what you call it? Was it like an expansion or something? And number 8 was some game I will not pronounce. Some Japanese-owned game.
Sumiko Garashi.
Sumiko
Garashi Koko
Garashi.
Doko Nandasu.
Number 9 is a game called Kenka Bacho Otame. Number 10 is ARMS. And I would go through the whole 20 list, but just know there's a lot of Nintendo games on this list. Nintendo has got Japan on lock, which is crazy. Not really crazy.
Like, how come there's no Xbox One games on this list?
Stop.
It's a great point. Great point.
The top 20 games in Japan.
There is
Xbox
one. It's
there.
one down here. It's right down here. It says number 11, Xbox 194.
Oh my god, they only sold 94 units that week.
That's crazy.
That's
So there you go.
unbelievable.
Xbox made it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You did it, guys.
Xbox
You're
game.
up,
did
you're
it.
up from 77 last week. You're doing big things.
Oh
You
my
did it.
God. But as far as
They're getting outsold by the damn Wii U.
oh no. But as far as Nintendo is concerned, they're doing very, very good in Japan.
Yeah, they are.
They're leading in the not only the software side of things, but the hardware side of things. Because number 1 and 2 are the 2DS XL. Number 2 is the Switch. So that's really really good for Nintendo. So these are just sales things. Anybody have anything to say about sales before we move on?
Damn, PlayStation.
Wow, the PlayStation
went up
3
from
is
23,000 up to 82,000.
Oh snap! Probably
The
'cause
PlayStation
Dragon
3 is selling more.
Dragon Quest probably is. What
Yeah, that was
up
probably
those
from Dragon
numbers.
Quest.
That's crazy. 23,000 to 82,000.
That's a huge jump.
Shout out to Nintendo, man. I hope this breeds more games, man.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, Capcom's still waiting though.
Oh my god,
And
hate
I forgot
Capcom
what
so
X-Men
much.
are.
You know, wait and see,
We
right?
forgot
Wait and
what
see.
X-Men were, but that was last
I ain't
week.
play. I forget Capcom. I ain't played no wait.
That
see
was
game
last
with them.
week. We're not gonna dwell on. We're not gonna dwell on the past. So the last newsy topic before we go into our discussion topic is actually gonna be about The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. They got another update this week, and so here are the patch notes. It says, this is from the official Nintendo America support site. We have fixed the issue in Pack 1, Master of the Trials expansion pass, in which defeating certain enemies for Kilton was not counted toward completion when playing the game in Master mode. In-game items can now be obtained from launching the software from certain articles distributed through the new news channel, the Breath of the Wild news channel that you guys get on the home menu, which can be accessed through the news on the home menu. This channel is expected to open on 8/9/2017, which is tomorrow. Depending on your game progress and location, certain items may not be obtainable. Various fixes to improve gameplay. So just some couple of updates for you guys who are interested in this, or maybe some of you guys who actually have the DLC.
Just side note before we go on to the next thing, Kofi put up his video about Kid Smooth.
Snap! Definitely
new
watching
Switch
that
song.
after the podcast. But the interesting thing about this update is the thing that you're gonna be able to get through the news channel. It seems like it kind of works the same way Spot Pass worked on the 3DS, where you would get various things sent to your 3DS through a wireless connection. So I think that's really interesting. Anybody want to talk about the Legend of Zelda news patch notes before we move on to our discussion for tonight? Nope. All right.
Crickets.
So let's go ahead and talk about our discussion tonight. So I kind of want to frame this video, this part of the discussion, by saying this. So our topic tonight is going to be, is the Switch selling so well because it's actually a good device, or because it's popular and maybe word of mouth is the reason why it's selling so well? So I kind of want to frame this video because I did watch a video from Mr. T. Shout outs to Mr. T. And this is not like a knock or anything to his video or his views or anything like that. I just thought it was a very interesting topic that I kind of wanted to kind of delve further into with a couple of people on my panel tonight. So, you know how people go, oh, they're talking about Mr. T's video. Like, yeah, it's an interesting topic, so why not talk about it? Everything ain't shade. So let's
unless
go
Real's
ahead.
here.
Unless Real is here, because Real adds shade to everything. Oh my god.
Hey, Darkstar.
Yay, Darkstar's here. Okay, so I want to frame this video by saying, okay, so I saw Mr. T's video, and he had a very interesting position, and he was talking about how he was wondering if the reason why the Switch was selling is because it's an actual good device, or simply because it's popular and a lot of people were getting on the quote-unquote bandwagon because it's popular. Then he also brought up the fact that the Switch has a lot of the same issues that the Wii U had, and even maybe some worse issues than the Wii U had, but because the Wii U was not as popular or didn't sell as much. And I'm just paraphrasing what he's saying. So if he, you know, watches this video, I don't want to misinterpret what he was saying. That, you know, maybe that's the reason why a lot of people didn't buy the Wii U, because it wasn't as popular, it wasn't as well renowned as the Switch is now. So have you guys seen his video on the topic?
Yeah, I watched it.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
I think I did.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Alex. So Alex, how do you feel about this? Do you think that the Switch is selling because of word of mouth, because it's popular, or because it's a legitimately good advice? Like, how do you feel about this, the whole dynamic of the Switch and how well it's doing?
It's selling because the quote-unquote gimmick makes sense this time. It's selling because when you see the Switch, you see what it does, you get it instantly. You understand how it fits into your life. You understand, I can take this around with me. I can play games on the go. I can take it. I can be at home, play the same game. I don't miss a step. It's a cool idea. It does something that the other two consoles can't do, never will do, regardless of how many titty flops they got. It don't matter. This console is something unique to the console market, and people get it. They understand it, and launching with possibly the greatest game of all time, Breath of the Wild, certainly helped. Yeah. Absolutely. The Wii U never had a console selling game like that for years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say this specifically about Mr. T, but a lot of guys who champion the Wii U cannot let it go. They can't let it go that it was a failure. They can't let it go that people don't like it. They can't let it go that the idea of the Wii U was just bad. The two-screen idea at home doesn't make sense. It's cumbersome. People don't want to live that life. They don't want to deal with a bulky-ass controller. It is what it is. Like, they made a bad idea. They moved on. The Switch, they got it right. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it has some of the games the Wii U had. Fantastic. But people aren't going to buy a shit system to play good games.
Yeah.
They want the hardware to be something that fits into their life, something that they like. That's all it ever was. That's all it is. And yes, absolutely, I agree with them. The Switch has a lot of problems, especially when it comes to the online stuff, the voice chat stuff. We've all talked about this. It's trash.
Yeah.
But you're comparing a system that's 5 years old, that never had any problems fixed, to a console that's been out for 5 months.
Yeah.
It's not a fair comparison. Yeah. Now, if we're talking a year, 2 years down the road, and the Switch has none of this shit fixed, then I'm with you. It's time to start talking about this shit. But, like, we're 5 months in, you're comparing it to a system that bombed on every single aspect, other than having good games. And I'm sorry. Like, I get you love the Switch. That's cool. It has good games, but it's a bad system. And they never believed in it.
Yeah.
But you can tell they are 100% behind the Switch, and people see that. They see the marketing. They see the games are coming, and they see that Nintendo is actually trying this time. And that, I think, is more powerful than anything they ever did for the Wii U. Yeah.
All right, so I want to go ahead and open the floor up to Keith. Keith, how do you feel about the success of the Switch? And you saw T's video, right? How do you feel about the whole success of the Switch and all the things it's lacking and what it has and all of that?
I think Nintendo is finally realizing their position, and they're playing to their strengths now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've always dominated in handheld, but they never could get everybody because you still had that 13 million on the Wii U who probably didn't. All of those people didn't buy a. I probably had that backwards. Yeah, I probably got that backwards. Screw what I was going to say, but
Oh snap!
yeah, but they're playing to their strengths. They made a console that you can take on the go that's fitting its role. People have always said that Nintendo is the second option. It's the alternative console.
It's
and
the complementary console.
It's a complementary console, and they're finally playing to their role. Because when I get off my PC, or if I had a PlayStation 4 or Xbox, and I want to go somewhere, I can continue playing games on my Switch, different games, of course,
Yeah.
smaller games, and they're basically just playing up to it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that the extra little tech that they put in there, like the Joy-Cons and stuff like that, that helps bring uniqueness to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that they're just playing to their strengths, basically. And Alex, man, come on, man. The Wii U wasn't that bad. I think the power of the Wii U is just what hurt. Can you
The
imagine?
power.
I think it's the power.
I'm sorry, the
Not
console
the
just
power,
sucks.
man.
Hold
Like
on,
when
can
you
you
have
imagine?
games that look as good as Mario Kart 8, it's not the power.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing a game like Grand Theft Auto 5? Hear me out. Playing a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 with the map constantly on the bottom screen when you're playing. Like, to me, that's all I ever wanted, but I never got it.
Mm-hmm.
So
But it's not like the console couldn't run it.
This is true.
It was on the 360.
Yeah.
So
Here's
it wasn't. It's like it's not the power of the console. It's like the idea of the console didn't catch on with people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go one further for you.
I can see it.
All right, Kuuppon, go ahead and give your.
So, my thing is, the number one thing that you notice with the Switch is they're not marketing to children like they did with the Wii U
That
and the
hurt
Wii.
them a lot.
And they've pulled away from that and realized that their core audience aren't just children anymore. It's the children and it's the adults who grew up with Nintendo and their children. So they're catering to like a kind of a young hip audience, as well as, you know, children can jump on board if they like. But I think with the Wii U is the system itself, it wasn't really up to par for the great games that it got. And people aren't going to go and buy a fairly shitty system to buy very great games. And we're not talking about the games. The games were great. It was the system itself was just cumbersome, bulky, weird. You didn't quite know what it was. Like, this is my experience buying a Wii U. Like, I went into the store to actually get a PS4 that day, and I ended up getting a Wii U when I realized that Nintendo had a new system. I didn't even know they had a new system out. When I found out they did, I was like, cool. When I first saw it, it looked like it was just an add-on to a Wii. But once I opened the box and see what it was, I figured it out because I'm a gamer and gamers can figure shit out fast. But your average person is not going to understand that. They're going to see this cumbersome, bulky little, screen and think that, oh, I can take this home and play on my Wii. And they think the Wii U is literally the screen. With the Switch, you know what it is. You know what you're getting before you even go into the store because you've seen it on all the advertisements that you haven't seen a Wii U at all. Wii U didn't get as much advertising as well. They didn't back it. Nintendo didn't back the Wii U as much as they could have and should have. They didn't have faith in the Wii U, and that's another thing that people pay attention to. If you don't have faith in your system, your core audience is not going to want to buy it, and the people who were possibly interested are not going to want to buy it, because if the company don't have faith in it, why the hell should I drop some money for that? Yeah. But you see that they're backing the Switch 110%. You see that they're putting in more effort. You see that the advertisements aren't catered to just children. There's core audiences that they're targeting and more hip and adult-like audiences. You see there's more games that are becoming a fairly mature games that we're getting, as opposed to just the kiddie games that people want to scream about. And just overall, they have faith in this system. And being that it is a system on the go, it works for how fast-paced most of our lives are. Most of us gamers today, we have, jobs, we have kids, we have family and things that we have to do, and we don't have time to sit down and play a game. But if we could take a system with us, and in between those little down times in our lives, we could, pop open a game and play for a quick moment, it works. And
I think that's something that Nintendo does very well as far as gaming is concerned, is handheld. Because a lot of people want Nintendo to go third party, but I think they did one better. They decided not to go full on third party, and they decided to make a system that works for your go getter, your everyday person, and people who they play into their strengths. Pretty much what Keith said, just straight up play into their strengths. Straight up, they're getting behind their system and all that stuff. And sure, there are some problems with the Switch. We all already said it. It came out way too early, but they had no choice. And so we're okay. And so some of us understand. It's okay. I went in knowing exactly what I was going to get. I knew that they weren't going to have the online right away. I knew they weren't going to have various applications. I knew there was going to be some hiccups here and there. And they have had their fair share of issues. But at the same time, those issues weren't as bad as what you had to deal with on the Wii U for the most part. And the games are like, they're just shelling out these games left and right. You got your indies, you got some third parties, because Japanese has third parties. You guys don't forget, those Japanese games were getting their third parties as well. You're getting some Western third parties, even though they're still, they got to dip their feet in the water and figure out if they want to join in, but that's their problem. And then also we have, iOS games, as long as they, as we said, as long as they stay within, their lane. Yeah. But like overall, I think with that being said, people are realizing, and word of mouth and all sorts of stuff, and there's advertisements on radios now for this thing. Like, I'm driving in my car and hear an advertisement for a Switch. You didn't hear that for a Wii U. You barely even got a freaking advertisement on your TV or anything for a Wii U. So there's a lot of marketing out there for this thing. So it's a combination of a lot of different things that has this thing. Yeah, it's a lot of different things that plays with the Switch being as popular as it is and getting out there.
And one thing that I kind of want to add to that is I feel like because of the Wii U's, because of the fact that the Wii U did not catch on, I think that the Switch kind of gets an unfair, how can I say this? When
it does kick out, it gets like a head start, I guess.
Well, I was gonna say, because I think that because the Switch is doing so well, people kind of give it a very unfair narrative. Like, people say, oh, well, the Switch is only successful because the Wii U did poorly. But
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, like, I feel that that's kind of unfair to the Switch, because like, there's so many, like, there's a lot of things that the Switch lacks. Like, that's not even a debate. Like, we've talked about it from
like
day
saying,
one.
That's like saying the Xbox One did poorly because the 360 was successful.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Like, I think that the Switch, like, people like to lump the Switch with the Wii U for some reason, and it's so unfair.
Because they want it to be the Wii U.
Right, and I think that's really unfair. Fail. Like the Switch is a device that doesn't do a lot of things. We've been very honest and transparent about that on Team Red Talk since the Switch was announced. Like, we've been very transparent. Like, we have no blinders on. Our honeymoon phase for the Switch has gone, it's passed, and now we're able to really kind of analyze it and kind of see things for what they are. And I really kind of don't like when people kind of compare the Switch and the Wii U, because in my opinion, they're two different beasts with two different circumstances around them. Like you guys noted before, for one, the message is very clear what the Switch is. We know exactly what the Switch is. The Switch is for all of the features it lacks, for all the multimedia things that it lacks. What it does have is games, and you can laugh all you want about indie games and iOS games, but that's a lot more games than the Wii U got. And not only that, but Nintendo has their stuff together this time around. We've pretty much had a Nintendo exclusive game for pretty much every month of the year, and it's continuing through the rest of the year. And that's something that we really couldn't say about the Wii U.
And it's not even like Buster crap like Mario Party 10 and Animal Crossing.
Like, they're actual AAA and AA Nintendo exclusives that people can get behind. And and as far as the Wii U, this is kind of how I feel. I've said this on Team Red before. I feel like we talk about this a lot because people keep comparing it to the Wii U. But
Oh, I see why they do though.
I mean,
Because
I see why they
Zelda's there,
do.
Mario Kart's there.
I see that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I wholeheartedly understand that. But they're also forgetting all of the other games that haven't touched the Wii U that we're playing and we're getting this year. So I think it's a little unfair, even still. So it's like, this is the way that I look at it. When I say that the Wii U wasn't that good of a system, I'm not even talking about the stuff like the marketing stuff. Like, that ain't my problem. That's Nintendo's problem, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you market a system or not. If the system is good, it's good, right? My thing with the Wii U that I felt like it was a bad system was the stuff that I had a problem with as a gamer, right? Like the consistent game drops. Like, you would not get games sometimes for like 6 months at a time on the Wii U, which is unacceptable. You know, when I first got my Wii U, the game that I got my Wii U for and pre-ordered my Wii U for was Pikmin 3. And obviously that, you know, we know that that game didn't come until like almost the next year after the Wii U had already been out. So there were a lot of instances like that where it would just take way too long to have a game that had any depth and any weight to it. So that was like my problem with the Wii U as a gamer. Also the fact that, you know, yes, you know, the Wii U did not have features. The Switch doesn't have any features either. But one thing that I can say about the Switch's lack of features versus the Wii U's lack of features is that at least Nintendo is addressing them, and they are creating a language around and a context around the lack of features and why they're not there and when they're coming and things like that. Now we're mad about the chat app. That sucks, right? But at least Nintendo's talking about it. They see that there's a void there and they're at least addressing it, and they're trying to get your feedback about it. And you guys know I've been the worst when it's come down to this app. I've been crapping all over this app on my channel. And you guys watch my personal channel. But I can give Nintendo merit for addressing it. With the Wii U, we talked about all this stuff. We gave feedback to Nintendo. They never addressed it. And the most significant update we got for the Wii U was folders. That's why people are taking to the Switch more than the Wii U, because even for what's not there, they're at least giving us the courtesy as a community, as a fan base, to address the stuff. We're working on it. Give us time. We're working on it. With the Wii U, you didn't hear that. They just
crickets. They ignored you all day.
But I think that's one of the main things. And Matthew is still on my thunder. I was going to bring this up. We already know that we got the Pokemon game is coming, and we got Metroid Prime 4 is coming. So what they didn't do with the Wii U, from my memory, if memory serves me correctly, we were getting games. There were old third-party games, but we were getting games, and we were also getting those indie games in between. But we didn't know what was coming next. We didn't know what Nintendo was bringing.
That's true.
Like you said.
Yeah, they did a very poor job at like keeping people interested in their console.
And I just feel like they took a page out of Sony's book. Sony will announce a game 3 years before it comes out, and they're like, people will go out and say, "Well, I need to go ahead and get my console now."
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are doing. They're like, "Pokemon is coming. I have to go get my Switch now, so I will have one. So when the droughts hit, I would already have it out the way." Metroid Prime 4 is coming. You know, those type of things Nintendo has to continue to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think we'll continue to see success from them.
One thing that I will say about the fact that the Wii U did get third-party games, yes. It did get indie games, yes. But they were still infrequent. Like, the third-party games we got, like, it was the launch window third-party games, and then after that, nothing. Or they were very infrequent. Like, we would get a random appearance of something like Deus Ex. We got the random appearance of Need for Speed. But for the most part, very infrequent. I remember at one point I was buying an indie game, or at least a couple of indie games, at least once a week, because there was a point in time on the Wii U where you would get like some really dope indie games on the eShop week to week.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. So like everything was pretty infrequent, from third-party games to Nintendo games to indie games, and that combined with all of the stuff that was lacking, like the features, kind of just made everybody really frustrated, and it came just crashing down. Because, you know, even if it doesn't have good features, at least have games. You feel me? Like, at least be good at something. And that's something that the Switch is doing, at least for the rest of the year. Now, next year, that's another story. So, I see where you're coming from. I see where T is coming
from. Oh, and
from.
we have a full-on Fire Emblem next year too.
Yeah, and I understand that. I understand all of that. I see all of that. But from the perspective of me as a gamer, if you don't have games, and if your games are coming so infrequently to the point that I forget that I have your console, that's a problem.
And even when the games come out, they're subpar.
Yeah.
Like, we had Kirby's Rainbow Curse, which is trash. We had Star Fox Zero, which was trash. We had Mario Party 10, which was trash. We had Amiibo
Mario
Festival,
Tennis.
which was trash. We had Mario Tennis, which was trash.
Yeah. Like, really, the Wii U had, like, one really good year, which was, like, 2014.
2014.
There was a couple of games that came out in 2013 and a couple of good games in 2015 with Xenoblade. But aside from that, like,
And
just
Mario
the
Party.
quality of exclusives and then the frequency was just very much lacking. And I think that even if the Wii U was in the position where it wasn't selling well and the marketing wasn't great, but it at least had a good caliber of games and they came out a little bit more frequently, I don't think people would be as sour on the Wii U as they are now. That's just my personal opinion. And as far as people saying that the reason why the Switch is selling is because of popularity, I think it's a whole lot more other things going on with
one
Switch
thing.
Switch.
Yeah, that's just one thing.
That's
but there's
one.
more.
That's one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, very small piece too.
Because I guarantee you that if the Switch wasn't getting game to game month to month, because people get Nintendo consoles, right? People get Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games. We've had Zelda, we've had Mario Kart, we've had Splatoon, we've had ARMS, we're getting Mario Rabbids, we're getting Xenoblade, we're getting Mario, we're getting Fire Emblem Warriors, like we're getting Pokemon. Like there's so many games coming in 1 year from Nintendo alone.
Yeah.
When was the last time we've been able to say that?
Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, so it makes me kind of worried. It's like, so you coming out rocking hard the first year. What you got for next year? Like I'm excited and I'm worried at the same time.
That whole idea that the Switch is selling because it's popular, like no fucking shit, retard.
Yeah.
Well, that's
what
happens.
If it wasn't popular, it wouldn't be selling. Like that's
an iPhone sells because it's popular. Like, what is your point?
But here's the thing: it's selling because it's popular, but it's popular because
there's
it's
a
good.
reason that it's popular.
Yeah.
Right?
It's doing good.
It's popular because it's good and it actually has good games and it has a quantity of games and a quality of games that's up
It's
to
not
par.
like when the PS4 came out and it was selling and nobody fucking knew why.
Exactly.
Even Sony didn't know.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't know why this console.
We have no idea. It's
They
exactly
said
what the
that.
Xbox.
Why is
We have no idea.
The PS4 at launch is an example of a game that's
That's an anomaly.
popular, but not the Switch. So I hate how I'm so passionate behind my words. So I'm not saying this to be ugly to T's opinion. I respect T a great deal. I watch his videos. I respect his opinions. I'm just very passionate. You know, I'm a black woman. I'm passionate. I say a lot of words. I say things with passion. Kuuppon knows. So I don't want anybody thinking that I have a problem with what T had to say. This is just my point of view, not to discredit his point of view. But anyway, anybody want to say anything about this? Any last words before we go ahead and get our questions out?
Questions.
Yeah, fuck the Wii U. Let's go.
Oh my goodness! All right,
the last thing, man. Last thing. It also stung that the PS3 and the 360 were still getting games, and the Wii U was supposedly more powerful.
And they couldn't get the game.
Yeah,
and they didn't get the game.
But they didn't get the game.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah,
well, that's still happening now, though.
It's still happening now, even with the Switch. So, and the Switch is by far has more capabilities
every
than the
week,
Wii U.
the Xbox and PS4 get a shit ton of games, and the Switch doesn't.
The Switch is not getting those games.
Yeah.
You know, some of it has to do with install base. Some of it has to do with bias in the
But
stratosphere and other things.
Recently, I don't know if you guys noticed, but recently, like a lot of games are just being announced for the Switch out of the blue.
Out of the blue, so I could dig it like that. You didn't get for the Wii U at all. Not no random unannounced game.
I really wish Nintendo would have a direct just for these indie and third party.
Yeah.
games.
You know, they
to
have
like
one
let
early
us
in the
know.
year. They need to have another one.
They need to have another. Just like, hey, we got an indie. You know,
we're getting games that we didn't even hear about yet, and they're just like, oh, we're on the way. It's like, what?
Wait, what?
I bet you if they talked about that Gear Club game, people would be like, oh snap.
Oh shit, we got a racing game. Fuck Forza.
All right, so let's go ahead and get these questions because we're reaching an hour and a half.
Fuckboy hours.
I'm not gonna be able to approach all of these, you guys, because our time is running out. But I have a couple of questions here that are interesting to me. One from Phantom One Op. He says, "Do you think that games should decrease in price from $60?"
Which games?
Just
games
any
in
games.
general. Games are $60.
I think games, if they get decreased, because how much they cost to make the in this day and age, because they take a lot of money for some odd reason, because they're trying to make cinematic shits. But for the most part, I think that if they take the price down, that we're gonna get way shittier games than we technically get for the most part now. Like, the devs are not going to work as hard. They're not going to put as much, elbow grease into their games, and we're probably going to get a very low quality set of games if they lower the prices.
We already get broken games.
And we already get that now. So like,
they're pretty, but
it's gonna be double what we get now, or triple that, if they lower the price in games. Because they're definitely not going to put that much into it.
I feel like there's a lot of games that shouldn't be $60.
Yeah,
some games shouldn't.
Definitely.
Like, not every game has to be $60. I know there's the perception if your game comes out and it's not $60, that means it's not a high quality game. I don't know why people have this perception, which is why I like what Hellblade did. They launched their game at $30, and hopefully it sells well and people like jump on board, and then we get more games like that. Because like, stuff like Kirby, although I love Kirby and Yoshi and stuff, they shouldn't be $60
games. No, definitely not.
And like Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, those are big, like, open world games pushing this console to the limit. Those are totally fine. Those I can justify spending $60 for those. But like, there's a lot of games like the Call of Duty games that come out every year. They're $60,
drop the price,
and then you have $50 for DLC. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are they that much money?
Because you're going to pay for it.
I mean, yeah, I believe that developers they gotta feed their families, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not even them. Like, it's publishers that set the price. The developers don't set anything.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, that money does still go back into the company. But yeah, I agree. There's certain games that should have a certain price point, because there's a lot of games out here that are $60 and they're like super short and they don't really have a lot of content. So it's like, what are you using your resources on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like, a lot of the time they're spending most of their budget on marketing and graphics.
And like, I don't really think it should be like that, but that's just me.
Yeah, it definitely shouldn't. Like, you can make a game that looks good without going super realistic, and then you'll save a lot of money that way.
Yeah.
And then you can lower your price, and then people will be more inclined to buy your game.
You know, a lot of people get mad at Nintendo for not trying to like push graphics to a certain extent, but it's like
what's the point?
You why? Have to understand why though, because a lot of these games are like approaching like movie.
They're almost like Pixar good.
Yeah,
they're almost movie budget games. Like if you're factoring in the development of the game, plus the marketing, plus the manufacturing of the discs and the carts and stuff like that. Like, these games are really expensive to make.
Very much.
Yeah, like, wasn't Destiny 1 $500 million?
Yeah, and a lot of it was because of the marketing.
That's insane. That's insane. More than a lot of movies.
That's a movie budget. But let's go ahead and move on from this question. Let's go ahead and move on to another one from the homie Darkstar. Shout out to Darkstar.
What up, Dark?
He said, have you guys noticed the amount of games that have been announced for the Switch recently? Do you think devs are really ready to dive into the system with support? Anybody want to take that?
I think some of them are ready, yeah.
Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I think so. People are having hard times finding one Switch. They may as well try to throw their games on there and get as much profit as they can while it's hot.
Yeah, true.
While it's hot.
Pretty much every game on the Switch is selling.
It's crazy. Like, if you go look on the eShop, it's like games that you wouldn't think would sell. Like, everybody has their little time to shine in the top 10. I've noticed that on the eShop.
I think with the Switch, like, a lot of developers who, if they utilize it, they can make a monopoly on some like niche genres in gaming. Like, you got sports with the cars, you got your sports games and beat 'em ups and stuff. Like, if you bring those niche titles to the Switch that you aren't gonna really I mean, I think they would be able to make a lot of money back and be able to make some sparks fly and stuff. So I hope we see a lot more games that come into those genres as well. But yeah, like it's because right now it's fairly popular. It's, you know, and there's plenty of room for like various different devs to just come in and just make a name for themselves, like out of nowhere. Be like, here's my game.
There's definitely a big gap to play around in because like most indie games don't go over $20,
right?
And then the next step up is 60. There's a huge gap there.
Yeah.
You could make a big name for yourself.
Yeah, like if you start making games $40, like people are gonna at least take a look at you. Where if your game is 60 and you're going up against Battlefield, no one's looking at you.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what I was talking about with the mobile games. That floor is open. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the under 20 market.
Yeah.
Just saying,
it depends on the game too, because if you have like a mobile game that say like. What is that game you were talking about? The shooter game. Like, say if that game has like mad, like say if that game has like mad microtransaction with like guns and maps and stuff like that.
Ugh.
That might be enough content to justify something like a $30 to $40 purchase on an eShop. But let's go ahead and get. You think so?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get one more question up in here, and then we're gonna bounce, give our outros. So we have a question here from, I saw it. There we go. Matthew Pipes. What are y'all's thoughts about Mario X Rabbids running at 900p 30 frames per second? Anybody want to talk about that?
I wouldn't know if you didn't tell me.
I don't think it matters because of the type of game it is.
Yeah, it's a turn-based action. Well, not even, what is it considered? Turn-based action? Is that what they call it?
It's like a real
turn-based.
Yeah, well, like it's not constant motion, so the 60 FPS doesn't really matter in this game.
Yeah.
And like, if you didn't tell me that game was 900p, I would never know because that game is fucking gorgeous.
Freaking Zelda's 900p, and you're just like, okay, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Like, do I still get to reach that mountain though? Okay. All right. Anybody want to say anything about any of the questions that we have gotten that you weren't able to maybe say before we go ahead and give our outros?
I did see something that was it'll probably be real quick.
What is it?
It was Quake SRK. He asked, should F-Zero come back? And I'm gonna modify his question. Now he said, will it make a comeback? And I was gonna say, should it even come back at this point?
What's the point?
It's no point.
We have two games like
Mario
it
Kart.
with Fast Racing and Redout on the Switch. So what's the point?
Just put Captain Falcon and freaking Mario Kart. I mean, you got his stage, you got his stuff. Just throw him in freaking Mario Kart and call it a day. There you go, F-Zero.
Give him a beat 'em up game too.
That's what I was gonna say. If they really wanted to bring Captain Falcon back in some kind of way, make a game that incorporates him in some type of beat 'em up style. Like, I would take like a half racing, half
beat 'em up type of deal. That sounds fire.
At this point, Captain Falcon is known for his Falcon punch and not his racing skills.
Right. So he needs to Falcon punch people straight up, and I don't think anybody's really on board for a complete F-Zero game.
I'm not gonna lie, I would buy the heck out of an F-Zero beat 'em up game.
Like a beat 'em up, if I could do more than just racing, if there's other things incorporated in that, and it works, and the things he does while he's doing the beat 'em up and the searching and all that stuff, and then he goes to his race and all that would be great. But just straight up F-Zero racing, like we're just racing, like that would get kind of old fast. And y'all gotta be honest with yourselves.
And another thing that F-Zero kind of has on its side is that it has a lot of dynamic characters. Like, if you guys ever played F-Zero, was it the one on the GameCube? It has a lot of interesting characters, like a lot of the different racers that kind of have their own like style and stuff like that. Like, if they really wanted to like modify F-Zero for the modern day, they could easily make a beat 'em up out of Captain Falcon and then all of the other characters from that game. Or they could probably even, if they really wanted to do it, like make a spin-off where they make like a straight up hand-to-hand fighter featuring Captain Falcon and all of these other people in the F-Zero universe. I think that would work. Like, if Nintendo wanted to make like a legit fighter that's not quirky like Smash Brothers and ARMS, Captain Falcon would be the mascot to push a game like that, I think.
I kind of see something like Beautiful Joe.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
Beautiful Joe's a beat 'em up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
much,
something
yeah.
like that.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it would
be
definitely
great.
work. And that kind of style, yeah, I think that would actually work for Captain Falcon because it's
Yeah.
like over the top and extra.
And it wouldn't be the first time that Nintendo changed the genre. Like Kid
Right.
Icarus used to be a platformer, but they turned it into an action shooting game. So I mean, it's
Yep,
not out of
so-
the realm of possibilities for Nintendo to change the genre of Captain Falcon. And if they don't want to go full on changing the genre, they could at least do spin-off games where that's kind of like a thing, like how Mario Kart branches off from the original Mario universe. I think people would be able
Yeah.
to get behind something like that.
Sounds
So that's all we have to talk about tonight. I don't really want to go over time too much. So let's go ahead and do our outro. So let's start with our guest, Mr. Keith Norris, for coming through. Thank you so much. You've been an awesome, awesome guest. Go ahead and give your outro. Let the people know where they can find you.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. Got a chance to fan out with you guys.
Yay!
You can catch me on the Live and Level podcast Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shameless plug. And yeah, I had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, for coming through, man. All right, Alex, go ahead and give your outro. Let the people know where they can find you.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Active Sin here. Another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo, the best Nintendo podcast on the internet. And yeah, we had a lot of fun today. Thank you, Keith, for dropping by. Always good to see a new face and get some different opinions in here. I'm gonna be streaming. What the hell's it called? Hellblade, Sesuna's whatever.
You almost said Salmon Run.
Yeah, I'm skipping out on Salmon Run, but yeah, I'm gonna play that after this. I heard that's a pretty good game. We'll test it out. PC version, of course, because that's the best platform. But yeah, other than that, we will see you guys next week.
All right, Kuuppon, why don't you go ahead and give your outro, let the people know where they can find you.
Hallelujah! Paragon's online again. Anyway, so there's that. Yeah, you can find me at Twitch and Twitter, Kuuppon, all that good stuff. Facebook, Kuuppon Stives. YouTube, Kuuppon Stives. I'm trying to get Paragon and or Overwatch working because they both have events and things going on. So hopefully I'll be able to get that stuff going, and I'll be able to stream it, and you guys can join me, watch me rage out because I suck at both of these games, but hey, that's the fun of it. That's why it's a struggle stream. Paragon seems to be working because I got it on my screen right now, so we're going to try Overwatch, and maybe I'll stream tonight or maybe I'll do it tomorrow, but just check out Twitter and Facebook for some information to see when I'm going live. You can catch me there.
Awesome. So you guys know you can find me at Twitter at TheVideoGamHer and YouTube at TheVideoGamHer and Twitch at Nia Loves Ninty. Thank you guys so much for coming out to Team Red Talks Nintendo again. We do this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch us again next week. To those of you guys who are curious about Mario Kart Mondays, we actually decided to do Splatoon yesterday. So make sure you check us out on Mondays because we're trying to phase between Mario Kart and Splatoon. So we streamed on Alex's channel yesterday some Salmon Run. So make sure you guys are following him as well as me because you never know what we're going to be playing on Monday. So just come in and get in where you fit in because we're probably going to be playing some stuff. Anyways, make sure you give this a thumbs up. Make sure you give this a share. To those of you guys who are watching this after it's live and it's archived, make sure you give this a like and a share. Thank you guys. Come again next week and we'll see you later. Peace out.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Oh my god, finally